Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And I'm here with another video about crypto, Bitcoin, and what is possible future. First of all, if you guys have not watched my video not the one from last night, but for I believe yesterday's morning, it's called This is not a head nor a double head. If you have not watched it, definitely go back and watch it because on that video you will understand what is our future target and what is the end goal for this month and why. And as this is channel, you can look in the description, it says channel of common sense. We're not just taking the theory, we're not just taking what the chart says, but we also look at the common sense and why certain things based on common sense are possible reality. As you guys all know, there's no way to be 100% accurate on uh, targets of Bitcoin, but not the target direction that anything can go anywhere because end of the day it all depends who are the players when they come in, what kind of impact they're going to make, and also what kind of resistance and supports out there that those big players are coming in and going against. But as we do know, we have market makers, which I have a little bit different opinion of market makers compared to the market makers who actually trade mutual funds and other huge accounts. And here's actually my input. You have big players who are, mutual funds, brokers, traders, and big corporation traders, and etc. Then you have trading platforms. That's like Binance and other huge trading platforms on which we are trading. See, uh, market mutual account holders and traders, they're interested in to trade just as us. The only thing is they're trading huge amount of money and they're trading other each other out there. But then we have Binance, companies like Binance who's actually we're using their platform to trade on. They're the ones that actually need to provide available money, available trades that we can actually buy in order to actually keep the market moving on our end as traders on their platform. As I mentioned in the past, if I'm not mistaken, in USTD, which is I forgot Tether, it's not controlled by anybody, no government, and no entity, and Binance has, if I'm not mistaken, has full control of it. So what stops them from adding couple zeros to their balance? End of the day, it's a digital currency, which honestly you can just go into the database to the back end and just add couple zeros, and right now you have more money. So, do they have a limit amount of money when it comes down to actually do whatever they want and control the price going up or down? No, they don't. Because if you can access and add couple zeros to your account, at this point, it becomes uh, unlimited source of money. So that's actually why I believe you have trading platforms, which are actually controlling and they're making the biggest probably decisions of all what goes where. Then you have huge corporations, mutual funds, and etc., who's actually trading against each other And we as small guys coming in, and they're trying, and everybody is trying to take advantage of us. So that's actually who we are going against. So keep in mind that when we come in and we trade, we're trying to snip a small piece from their huge, unmeasurable pie, and hoping that if we make those right decisions, end of the day, we will be profitable. So if you watched my video, which was not the last but previous video, not the last night's video, this is not a head or a double shoulder. You definitely understand where we're heading and what I believe is our target for the end of the month. Now, how are we gonna make it down there? That depends. We might have a big dip one more time before we get make it there, or we might be running down there with non-stop. My minimum target is 58,000 for Bitcoin, which is 8,000 away from where we at right now. We can do 8,000 in one day. That's not a problem, and we have what 8 days left to the end of the month to make that happen. So a lot of things that can happen in those 8 days. But end goal, we already do know, we do understand. So does that mean we just sit out and wait because of another big dip is coming? I personally not going to sit out. I'm going to be actually set in and wait it out. I'm not the I'm not in a position to be leveraged out unless we hit the bottom of about zero on Bitcoin. So I'm fine to sit it out. If you are using high leverages, then first of all, I don't believe you should be doing that unless you are sniping and you're going in and going out and you're not staying more than half hour, an hour to an hour maximum within the market. And again, then it's a highly risky using a large leverage. That's personal opinion. So what I see for today, honestly, first I'm gonna explain my personal situation. I will be going to work in about an hour. I am started driving for DoorDash, trying to pick up as much schedule as I can. Right now, I'm scheduled from 10 to 5 in the evening, and I'm hoping to see if I can pick up something past 5 for about till 9 or 10 or so. Uh, don't have nothing scheduled for Tuesday yet. Hopefully, something will come up. So because of that, I'm not gonna have be able to talk to you guys. I'm not gonna be able to update you guys. So I'm gonna try to predict as much, and you guys actually watch your charts and see what happens. Bitcoin right now is sitting at 50,400. Came up to 50,600, and it's working its way up through. As we guys having a New York market going to open, New York market usually broken down into two period of time. First period of time is from starts moving from about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and lasts till about noon, 12:30 New York time. And then we have a second part which is starts for around 12:30 and lasts till about 4:30. And then 6 o'clock we have Sydney, 5 or 6 o'clock New York time we have Sydney that opens up. So the first move that the first part of the New York time we have two possibilities. Either they can actually move us up and level us up above 51,000. Uh, Option two, they can try to bring us down under 50,000, which we do have couple candles under 50,000 right here that are uh, high volume candles, and they usually like to come down and tap into those. If they do that, they'll bring the price down to under 49,400. But I, for some reason, believe they're probably going to push us up further up. Now, second half of New York time. Whatever they do in the first New York time period, in the second half of the New York time period, usually they try to do the opposite. Not always, but usually. So that means if, let's say, they pull us up and they pull us, let's say, over 51,000. So that's 51 200. That means in second half of New York time until we get to Sydney's time, they will pull back under 51,000 to about 50,500, maybe slightly lower. That's what I believe the outcome will be. Now, when Sydney opens around 5 or 6, and I can tell you guys for sure when Sydney opens, because here's Sydney opens 17. That's 5 o'clock. So when Sydney opens at 5 o'clock in New York time, we most likely will get another turnaround. But but I often see in Sydney do a lot of times will do what New York Times have been doing in the second half of the day. That means our next possible turnaround would be at that point is around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the evening when we do have a the day reset and then we have a new day starts in crypto world. So those are possible movements, possible period of day time of the day that possible changes will take effect. Remember also every time on an hour when market opens, which which we just passed in 8 o'clock. Oh, I'm sorry, 6 o'clock, which we had this big red candle. Always during 6 o'clock we have huge movements. That is an hour where, if I'm not mistaken, European is actually going to launch Euro market. So we have a big fluctuation there at that time. I might be wrong, but something definitely at 6 o'clock makes a big move. Then we have another move that actually happens between 8 and 10 o'clock. And usually that sends a trend, usually sends a trend all the way, all the way up to 12:30 New York time. So that's the time why you guys want to watch. Now, you guys want to watch the noon hour when they go to lunch. Whatever trend is moving between 10 and 12, around 12 to 1, usually around 12:30 is when it changes directions or it stops moving and kind of goes sideways. So you want to watch that period of time because whatever happens at the time, 50% of the time, it will continue for till Sydney opens at 5. It will continue that direction. So if it starts sideways, most likely it will continue sideways. Or sometimes actually when the lunch finishes around 12, 1:30, it might actually go and start an opposite trend. Might actually move for an hour sideways and then start an opposite trend. What actually first half of the New York session was doing. So watch those times. 5 o'clock in the evening. That is the Sydney Opens. Watch that time. We usually don't have a lot of activity on Sydney Opens, but sometimes we do see trend change at 5 o'clock. So not very common. Usually it's an amplification of what's been happening during New York time. Sydney might actually uh, make that move a little bit faster, but that's about all you can get out of Sydney. Very little fluctuation during our opening, not as big as some other markets do. And then we have at 8 o'clock, and sometime we might have something at 9, 10, and 11, 12. So those are the hours to watch. And when I get back home, I'll try to see what happened and get you guys updated on new moves. Luckily, let's look at a couple coins, what actually they have done overnight, and what can still happen. Let's go to. So we. Oh, I didn't add XRP here. So I got top no coins, but no XRP. Then I need to go to futures. You know what, I'm gonna go to my list that I'm trading right now because. So these are the coins I have, not including Bitcoin. XRP right there. XRP broke through last high, but has not broken through the previous high yet. It still has that $1.35 target, which now I personally believe after we break through $1.35, Our target should be around $1.50 or so. So that is something we're working on to break on XRP. It did got that the big candle of high volume come in. I can call it high volume. I can call it market makers, whatever you guys want to call it. Most people call it out there market makers. Right now, we're coming down. Um, Within the next hour, so 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, um, we might within 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Within the next 2 hours, I'll say it this way, we're probably going to touch the 13 EMA, and then from there we're going to have another push. So if you guys want to get into XRP, and you guys might have a chance as you guys watch this candle coming down, probably somewhere $2.27, um, while 13 EMA coming up meet it. That would be actually a perfect time to get in, and most likely as a New York time will push it up. You'll have advantages to pull up at least to 32, 33, 34, somewhere in this range. So that's, hey, we might get that another two or three of those and get us past 35. But let's be realistic. We cannot always suspect these big candles to take us all the time. But if your fees are small, definitely you have an opportunity. Now, I want to actually update you guys on something on Bitcoin or the Binance. It came to a day today, or not today, yesterday. Yesterday's Friday when I started driving for DoorDash, and I tried to access it through my tablet, Binance. Even though I had VPN everything set up, somehow somewhere I got my account flagged. They're saying my cellular service provider provided them information that I am from restricted area. So they forced where I cannot open new orders. I can still close them. I can still move money around, but I cannot start new orders without actually providing information. So the information they actually asked me to provide is a country of origin, name, last name, phone number, and um, an address. Yeah, I believe those are the things that. So name, phone number, an address. I believe those are things that actually they needed me to provide on the basic verification. So I provided that, and they instantly verified it and instantly approved it and released my account back to full functions. Now, you guys know I traded on behalf of a client, so I had a hard time getting hold of a client because of the weekend, but this morning I've been able to get hold of my client and get that information from them, put it in, and had no problems. So, big, big warning. If you guys are trading Binance, be careful accessing their platform on mobile devices through mobile carriers, as they're right now developed a new system, and they right now seems like they have it where now they can get information from your carrier, which country your carrier is in at least, and I guess much more they probably can is actually getting service that you're purchasing from which country. So that's more than enough for them to make a decision where you guys at. So now, is Binance becoming easier to get on? Is becoming harder? Because now you need to find a client in a country that Binance.com is approved in, and so you're still allowed to trade. And hopefully, you can trust the client who will be able to actually allow you to get on Binance.com platform. It is a lot more challenging than it used to be, and they're actually tightening the grip thanks to those people actually backing and hoping for uh, for regulations, and that's what you get when you ask for regulations. You get yourself locked out of the tools that actually can help you be more successful and from cheaper fees. I personally believe on their futures platform, you get the cheapest fees. I don't think I've seen any cheaper fees yet than Binance.com futures. But now it's becoming harder and harder. So XRP, as you guys can see, slowly pushing down, and I'm pretty sure we're probably going to push somewhere to $27 to meet with EMA 13 right there. What else? Doge. Doge again has not leveled up yet, and it's definitely looking to get leveled up. It, this week is going to be a huge week for a lot of crypto, and I personally believe a lot of crypto will level up to their new highs. Some of them will have crazy runs because of Bitcoin broke through 50,000, especially as the further Bitcoin moves away from 50,000, the bigger runs we'll start seeing on altcoins. And keep in mind, those coins that will not do much of a move over the next 10 days, those are the coins we'll have to stay away because those are the coins that will actually, people no longer believe in them and they'll start hurting us. That's one. And they're also going to be those coins that most likely will not survive when the true crash comes. So keep that in mind. StoreJ, as we can see, it coming up. I'm not sure exactly where it's going to be its first stop, but usually, as I've been watching some of the coins, usually the first stop is at the last peak, and then from there, which we already had here, it did hit and they actually bounced back. Then usually goes a little sideways. Then we have a second level up, which goes higher. Now, YFI working its way as well. We do have this nice dip, which is an indication we will have a next level up. So you might get a couple percentages at least out of YFI. StoreJ, we already looked at. Cellular Network actually was doing nicely, had a nice move yesterday, did push up. Right now, it created that. Let me see if I can disable this thing. There it is. As you guys can see, it created that. I call it drop jaw. So you have this valley that created. Right now, is might look to be looking to create a small one as it's preparing for another push. Vet is another coin. We do have this valley. It has quite a bit to go. Um, it will probably level up within the next 48 hours. It might drop down for another jaw to create that W, or just might consider this as a W and push that up. Then, actually, other than this move, Dent has not had a recent move yet. So Dent is coming up again within 48 hours. We should see that push. H bar already over the night actually had quite a move. Kind of got up to this high right here. Probably will kind of go a little bit sideways and probably try to push either through the first period of a New York time or a second period of New York time, but try to push and catch another flight up. It almost feels as if kind of be nice to look at this at Sorry, guys. Gotta get my throat dried up really bad in the morning for some reason. This is every morning. Um, I would love to see what happens at 10 o'clock with the chart to kind of, see what are, more accurate, closer possibilities. But it also, jeez, but it almost look like we need to come down, meet the 13 in which on almost all coins that actually leveled up, and have that push, nice push up, and then pull back afternoon. Or it can be reversed. We might have a pull back during the first portion of New York and then have a nice steady growth in the second half of New York time and throughout the Sydney opening. So those are the two outcomes, but either one of them, I either way, end of the day, I believe between first and half part of the New York by let's say 7 8 o'clock, we should be a lot higher. Either we have a pullback then push, either we'll have a push and then pullback, but end of the time we will be higher than we are at on some of these coins. SHIB, another coin that needs to go up, has not been able to go up yet. Um, SHIB usually waiting for Doge. They usually go up together. So when Doge goes up, SHIB will follow, or SHIB will start going up and Doge will follow. So those are the two coins that I notice are always traveling together. AV had a much of a growth, so we suspecting it to start pumping. And AV, I'm probably see it pump probably for the next 24 hours. Teta has pumped a little. Um, 30 EMA not far away, so again, it's set up for the New York time. So whatever New York time does in first half or second half of the day, it nicely set up to run with it. XRP, we had a nice pump and pull back. Right now we're having another pump and pull back. Again, nicely set up for the New York session. Um, Harmony, it has been going up for the last two, I believe, days. Today is the 23rd, 22nd. So for the last 2 days, today's going to be the third day. So we had level up, we're level two. So today we should see Harmony somewhere R1. So somewhere around R2 area that is actually going to push to. So again, nicely set up for New York Times. Already caught up with the 13 EMA. Touched it almost every single time. So now it's just trading sideways. As you guys can see, the width of the candles becoming smaller and smaller as it is waiting for that next push. And Alice is another coin I just added. Alice had some push-ups, so level one, very nice, was nice growth right there. Um, it has already came down with touched the 13 EMA, so right now it has two outcomes. Within the next 2 hours, come down and touch cloud of the 50 EMA, or trade sideways and take another move with a New York time. So I would be surprised if Alice does not move through the New York session. And when it will move, it's going to be another nice move on Alice. So that's the reason why I usually try not to chase coins and get on them this late unless I'm already trading them. But Alice is just in a perfect spot for the next pump. I actually bought it at 13 EMA about half hour ago, so that one should pump as well. So, guys, be blessed, be smart, be successful. I need to go and get prepared. Oh, I have comments to apologize. Hey, IQ, how's it going? Do you want me to cover XRP one more time? Like I said, before New York Times starts moving, you want 13 EMA, that price to touch 13 EMA. So either it will come down a little bit further down, or EMA within the next two candles. This and one more candle will actually come up to it, and that's going to be good enough for the next pump. As you guys can see, we had four red candles or three red candles in the last pause. We already have one, two, three red candles. That's pretty much going to be possibly our last red candle to reach our 13 EMA. As we have here, as you guys can see, it touched right there. Let's blow it up. It barely touched 13 EMA, then it actually blew through it, and then it pumped. And that's exactly what I suspect we will get here. Uh, Either this candle comes down and try to touch it, or the next candle will come down as this will level up to about right here. Yeah, so pretty much about right here is where it's going to level up. That candle will come down, touch it, and actually start blowing up. And probably, I do not smoke, man. I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I try not to cuss. So, never ever in my life have I smoked. I maybe had a one or two puffs in my life altogether. Uh, so yeah, that's so. I see the problem I have is throughout the night. I breathe through the mouse and already tried putting with the various different things to keep my mouth closed. So my mouth and throat start drying up, and I get some kind of brown stuff in my mouth. So in the morning when I wake up, I have to spend 2 3 minutes trying to rinse my mouth out from this brown stuff, but I cannot get it rinsed out through the throat. So as I start speaking and saliva starts going traveling down the throat, it starts coming out, and that's when and that brown stuff is what actually dries up in my mouth, in my throat, and that's actually starts causing that cough and almost feels like I'm want to throw up, but at the same time there's nothing to throw out with because it's all dry. So that's kind of hey, I'm over 350, so I personally what I think it is um, encephalophagus, I believe, is that tube that goes between your throat and your stomach. As my stomach valve, not because of the overweight, is not closing, has a lot of fat on it that's not closing properly. So there's acids and liquids leaking out of this my stomach into the esophagus, and it comes out to my throat, and what's actually the brown stuff is coming from. That's I think what it is. So yeah, but end of the day, we move on living, hoping uh, things will get better, and hey, it's just life. So yeah, that's my outcomes for today. Be blessed, be successful, and I'll be back hopefully tonight, unless I'll be too tired to get online. I'll come up and keep you guys updated based on what I see and what I feel. But I feel we're going to have another nice day today, or at least I believe so. Um, the rest of the week is actually questionable because if we level up today and we do have quite a nice travel today, the rest of the week might actually be dull. So I'm hoping we have level up, but we don't run too far, especially on Bitcoin. So we can have the whole week can be promising as well. So be blessed, guys. Take care, and speak to you guys tonight, if not in tomorrow morning.